This is right near the start of the South Street Seaport. All these buildings have been renovated from what they were like about 100 years ago. Now, under the Giuliani administration of New York, they actually moved the fish market from this area to the Bronx so they could further develop this area. You can see how developed it's become. It's become much more commercial. A lot of apartments are all down here. And many people really enjoy living downtown now versus living in Midtown. It's less crowded downtown, but in the evenings, it's empty. And on the weekends, it's empty. But people really enjoy this downtown area, except for the tourists. The tourists love coming down here. And you can see all around here the tall buildings in the downtown area. And apartments, all these apartments around here. Now, the downtown area has transformed over the last 30 years. 30 years ago, it was flush with people working on Wall Street. But then what happened is a lot of the folks from Wall Street moved to New Jersey at first, Westchester at first. And then as the electrical systems and the communication systems got better and better, the people that worked on Wall Street ended up moving even further away. Florida, North Carolina, other parts of the country, because a lot of financial firms wanted redundancy. They didn't want anyone to be nearby. They didn't want everyone to be near New York. So that affected the vibrancy of the downtown area. But what is great about New York is they're always good about reinventing themselves. And they did reinvent themselves, and this downtown area was reinvented more as a residential area, converted a lot of the office buildings to condos, and also as a tourist location, as you can see here with the South Street Seaport. Here we can take a closer look at these beautiful buildings. They tried to renovate them to look the way they looked many years ago. And you can see a beautiful park here, and this is right next to modern apartment buildings. And this is Water Street here, which is what runs right up against the South Street Seaport. You can see, you look all the way down, you see all those tall buildings. So it's a great contrast to the South Street Seaport. You have this great tourist attraction here. And it's really amazing seeing these buildings. Now, this is just another angle from Water and Beekman, looking at some of those old buildings. And again, this is still the South Street Seaport area, but this is all part of the renovation and renaissance of the South Street Seaport area to make it look more like a tourist location. You can see the way these buildings have been redone. A lot of people living in them. And in New York, they have this big thing about like preservation. So a lot of times when you're in a district like this, like you want to make a change, you need approvals, and a lot of approvals, and it's very difficult. And here at Front and Beekman Street, it's just another angle of the South Street Seaport. You can see the beautiful shops all around here. Now, it's Saturday, October 31st. Typically, this would be packed with tourists, but it's not. So, a lot of people are just a little bit shy right now, especially since it's October 31st, Halloween. So people just kind of want to stay put, except for this venturesome camera person. You can see people are out waiting for the tourists. whole beautiful environment here. And even with the restaurants, they're really trying to make a go of it. So they've opened up the areas for dining. Now it's not so bad right now. It's kind of warm, so people are eager to be out. You can see these beautiful buildings here. A lot of people really like living downtown because it's so quaint. And you can even see here, look at this restaurant, this nice old-fashioned building where you have people living in it. And it's very, very quaint living downtown. It's very convenient to transportation. 100 years ago, when they built all the transportation systems, they were designed to converge on Lower Manhattan and then expand outward. And that was because around 1905, 1900, the downtown area was where it was at. And don't forget, the Woolworth building, at one point, which is downtown, the Woolworth building was one of the tallest buildings in the world. Very briefly, but it was one of the tallest buildings in the world. You can see here all the buildings downtown. Just beautiful in the downtown area of Manhattan. Just another part of the South Street Seaport area. This highway that's in purple is the highway that's used when the president comes into town. He uses this highway to get into Manhattan. And he lands at the heliport just a short distance away from here and just takes a straight ride into Midtown. And that bridge in the distance, that's the Brooklyn Bridge. And you can see here the other parts of the South Street Seaport area, all revitalized. It took about 30 years and it's still a process of being improved because you can't improve everything overnight. But you can see what a great job they've done on this building. Magnificent brickwork. You have to keep the same style according to the city. They're very, very strict. Now, this is the very center of the South Street Seaport, the most renovated part of the seaport area. When people think of the South Street Seaport, they think of this area. Again, you can see all the beautiful architecture here. The lots that are left empty because they want to put up something new eventually. Here you can see the roadway and the highway right above us. This is right next to the South Street Seaport. And you have the old ships. That's definitely a part of the South Street Seaport. You buy tickets to go on the ships. So that's like really, really nice when people want to do this. And they just opened up a new area called the Greens. They spent a long time fixing this up. Really a nice job. Just another part of the South Street Seaport. This is the heart of the South Street Seaport. This is where all the tourists come just to see what the South Street Seaport is like.